Now, still on the proposed mega rally in support of President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, slated to hold in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State capital, by the group named the New Associates. We are now joined by Bayelsa State Commissioner of Youth Development, Alfred Kemapado. Good morning, Alfred. Welcome to the program today.
Good morning, Vimbai. Good morning, Rufai, and good morning to Oga Abati.
Good morning, Alfred Kemapado. Well, we just had an interesting session with Judge Turner, who says the New Associates is going to organize a mega rally to celebrate President Tinubu and Minister Wike in Bayelsa State. Is this something you know about, and what is the disposition of the state government towards this proposed mega rally that he says is not a political campaign, and that he and his colleagues in the New Associates have the right to associate together and have access to even government premises to celebrate the president and Wike. But he is also the zonal secretary of the PDP in the South-South. We thought there was something not quite right there. But what do you think? Since you are both from Bayelsa State, where this mega rally is going to take place.
Basically, it's just unfortunate that people will come to national television and pretend, and that's why I'm grateful to your studio for always bringing out the truth. Political campaigns have timetables. It's not time for political campaigns. Coming to the real issue, you know that the governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Derogatory, is one of the most tolerant governors we have in this country. And if there is anything you can credit the governor with, it's peace. And that's what, that's one of the cardinal things that endeared us to the citizens of Bayelsa and gave us a second tenure. That you know. You see, without pretense, I will just go straight to the point. We are not against any form of gathering as ensured by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Whether you have the APC, whether you have one new associate, old associate, or anything, we are not against it as a people. But we all know that in recent times, the Minister of the FCT, Wike, His Excellency, former Governor of Rivers State, with due respect, made some reckless statements on national TV, insulting and disrespecting people. Particularly, he described and mentioned the Ijaws with languages that are not acceptable, such as using words like Ijaws are minorities, Ijaws can never be governor of any state except Bayelsa State. And when you actually know that the first military governor of the old River State as we speak today, Alfred is from today's Bayelsa Ijaw. The first civilian governor, Melford Kilo, of River State, is from today's Bayelsa State Ijaw. The first, another civilian governor, just before democracy came, Chief Rufus Ada George. So, you make reckless comments and to the extent of trying to insult even the late elder statesman like Edwin Clark. And that didn't go down well with most Ijaws. If anybody is pretending, if I know Mr. President has a security report, that didn't go down well with most Ijaws. And if you find out the real truth, there have been, resentments, like anger everywhere. So when people came together to say, hey, we want to now, in any guise, host Minister Wike, this one in Bayelsa in the form of this kind of political brigandage that they want to do, it's not like the governor is against Wike or any other citizen of Nigeria coming to Bayelsa or holding or associating. It is that amidst these tempers, we're only saying, guy, let's not promote any forms of gathering. because you can never be sure of what comes out of the gathering, because we want to protect our peace. Don't forget that in the reckless statements that the minister made, he made statements such as Ijos are the ones protecting pipelines, referring to Tompolo, and that they are the ones also blowing up pipelines. So, these kind of statements have provoked not just youths, not just old and even professionals in Ijoland.
Okay.
And between you and I can tell you that off the camera, the governor has been going from place to place to tell people that forget about him, he's an individual, we are not against the inquiries, we don't have any fight against the president per se, just maintain the peace, let our state move in the direction that we are moving, make progress, let the oil production and other related activities that will contribute to the economy stay calm.
All right.
So that is just what we said, not that we are against anything.
I understand
so that's
the
about
picture
it. So if anybody is blowing it out of proportion,
I understand the picture that you've painted and the perspective where you're coming from, especially when you talk about the more recent comments that were offensive towards the Ijaw people. The characterization you've given almost makes it seem as though Nyesom Wike has now been declared persona non grata in Bayelsa State. Now, what is the precedent that we're setting there if we're saying that if somebody makes an insulting comment against a group or, and certain persons, that they become persona non grata in a state within their own country? Because the president, it means that we can now go from state to state and declare that certain individuals are not allowed to gather in certain states. What picture does this paint?
No, Vimbai, I think you may have turned the question. I think maybe what we should be saying now is that people who hold some kind of respectable positions, especially when you are, even as a commissioner for youth, you should be careful with the kind of statements you make in public space. That we should up our standard when we come, especially those of us holding public offices, that certain reckless, avoidable comments are not expected of us, especially those that go to insult people, especially when you want to insult the ancestry of a people. You understand? Let me tell you something.
But there's no law that says if you insult the ancestry, you can't visit the place. There's no law that says that.
There is no law that says that, but we also say that you don't, under the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and even within our moral boundaries, you don't take to provoking people and not expect them to react. But in this circumstance, the governor is trying to ensure that there is no form of negative reaction as a result of such reckless comment so that we can keep the region in peace. We are not saying that people should not gather. Vimbai, for the records, let me say this on national TV. Governor Doyediri is one of the most tolerant governors. As I speak to you, just after the elections, even members of the APC are part of our executive council. The commissioner for power is from the APC. The commissioner for lands and survey in Bayelsa is from the APC. I can go on and on. So we are not saying that people should not gather. We are not saying that people should gather, or that when people make reckless comments that that certain moods should be made to swing against them. But we should be saying it that people who hold reputable public offices should not go into reckless comments, especially against people.
Alfred.
And that should not be tolerated even by the presidency. How does it even help the president?
Okay, Alfred.
By insulting people.
Alfred, see.
Yes, please.
The principle has always been, you might not agree with Governor Wike. I don't agree with him most of the time. But like Voltaire says, I will do everything to defend his rights as enshrined in the Constitution. And this is me that does not agree with him. Isn't the message put out by your governor too high-handed? That, and I'm going to read those words to you. The governor said, and I quote, that persons in the state, particularly one Judge Turner, is threatening the peace of the state, which he has said he did not. Recently, there's a Facebook report that his own number is going around to host ministers in Tombia roundabout Bayelsa. The minister is not from Bayelsa State. What does that mean? Because he's not from Bayelsa State does not mean he cannot come to the state. This is Bayelsa State. All service commanders should be at alert. The meeting must not take place in Bayelsa State. You can host the minister anywhere else of Bayelsa State. Is Governor Doyediri the Lord Almighty of Bayelsa State? I further direct that no public place should be used by anybody except the approval of the state government. Is that not dictatorship? I condemn in its entirety.
Profile, let me answer you
Let me
straight.
finish. I condemn in its entirety this message by Governor Doyediri today. And I think everybody in the interest of the constitution of this country should condemn this message. You might disagree with him. I disagree with Wike, but you must not deny him his right of freedom and movement as enshrined in the Constitution. What's your reaction, sir?
Rafai, I'll answer you straight, and let me tell you that late last year or earlier this year, the governor led a delegation, including all the appointees of President Tinubu, to the villa and thanked President Tinubu for the appointments that he has made concerning the states. Quietly, some parts of the media took it. So we are not against that gratitude. Then the second question you will also ask yourself is, why is the rally not put together to host the Minister of Petroleum, who is from the states? Now, he came to the studio to say it is also to thank President Tinubu for the appointment of the MD of NDDC. Now lie, the MD of NDDC was MD of NDDC even before Wike became a minister. Sir, the governor has security reports at his purview, but I'm not saying this to camouflage anything.
No, that word security report is to camouflage things.
Excuse me.
It's the camouflage thing.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Just let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish, Rafai.
Go ahead.
You know me at least. Now, the rally that was put together at Tombia Roundabout was not a rally of gratitude. It was saying gratitude wrapped in many other things that is capable of undermining the peace. And let me also make it clear, forget about Judge Turner. It is not a Judge Turner thing. It is those playing the music for him behind. Okay? We know him, I know him. So that's that. Let's not pretend about these things on national television.
No, can I come in here,
And
Alfred?
like I said in my intro, we are not against anybody's gathering. Anybody can host anybody anytime. But in the circumstance and with the reports available to say, don't do this. Tempers are high. Okay? After now, anybody can go about his campaign. Rafai, did you not see during the campaign that we opened all our facilities to the opposition, give them security,
Alfred,
do everything? Did you not see it?
Alfred, can I come in? I get you. But what I'm saying is, the statement attributed to your governor is condemnable, is highly dictatorial. By using words like, he is not from Bayelsa State, he doesn't need to be from Bayelsa State before he wants to come and hold a rally in Bayelsa State. He doesn't need to be. He has every right. Do I agree with Minister Wike every time? No, I've told you that. But what I will disagree to the high heavens is his right to freedom, to come in to hold his rally in the States, and this idea of security reports. We all know, say that security report na boyanya, na where everybody they go hide when they don't want to allow something happen. It is incumbent on the chief security officer of the state to provide security to the best of his ability. So please, this statement is high-handed. See, I understand that it's a Wike rally.
I am surprised. Excuse me.
You don't need to be surprised. It's fairness across board. It's fairness across board. I gave Turner the same treatment. I'll give it to you.
Hold on. Don't give it to me. I love it when you give it to me. But let me tell you something. I'm surprised that you, who interrogates and critiques everything, will make this statement. When you saw in your very before that shortly after he made that comment, he was going to a community called Abalama in Rivers State. And for him to get into the community, military gunboats, police, military trucks, everybody were deployed into their communities so much that they were shooting tear gas. It's all over the social media. Is that what you want?
Can I respond to that?
If we say,
can I respond
don't do this now because, excuse me, let me finish, please. Please now.
Go ahead.
I know it's your studio. Let me just finish. Now, you saw that in your very eyes. Is that what you want? That's not what we want. Like I said, even in the intro, we're not against anybody gathering. We're not against any parties gathering. In the circumstance that tempers have fled, we are not in control of many things. This gathering is ill-timed. Let me make it abundantly clear before you say it's high-handed. We, as a government, we are not saying at any point in time, and we will not say at any point in time, whether Minister Wike or any other person, including you, Rufai or Oga Abati, does not have your right to a gathering. But when tempers have fled, in circumstances as this, where we have insulted a people, the governor has a responsibility to come together to say, under any form of non-kinetic security, to say, guy, don't do these things. Let this time go away, then politics can roll in. What are we saying? Why are we pretending like we don't know that these emotions exist? Rufai, now you they talk like this.
Kemapado, let's just
yes, senior.
Unmask this thing. Now, one train of state of emergency just demolished things in River State. Just let's be honest. Is Governor Derogatory afraid that that train too is trying to pass through Bayelsa State, and as an act of self-preservation, he doesn't even want anybody to bring any kind of fire to come and get the train rolling. Just let's be honest. Let's be honest. This is.
Let me be very honest with you. Like Governor Derogatory and like us, we fear nothing. But we have a responsibility to provide governance. And one of the things we have been able to achieve in the state is peace. The peace that has shot our IGR up by more than double. The peace that is giving way for the development of the states. That the cities that the federal government promised, the Niger Delta that was not built, Derogatory is already building them. The coastal roads leading to Brass, Oporomo, and other places is already building them. We only want to concentrate on those things. We don't want any form of mission creep. We don't want any form of distraction. It is not time for politics. It is not time for brigandage. So we don't want, you see, these youths that you want to gather, 65% of our population are youths. About 40% of those of them are unemployed. If you want to do anything with the youth population, it's to create jobs, which is what we are doing in the Ministry of Youth Development by training to ensure mentorship that leads to establishment, not to take advantage and weaponize poverty to gather people. So coming back to your question, Senior, it is not a question of being afraid. It is an issue of concentrating on governance and not allowing any distraction. Our administration is just 1 year. Next year will make us 2 years. And we don't want to be distracted till 3 years come. State of emergency in River State or no state of emergency, it's not what we want to debate. It is never something we want in any guise or form. Of course, we don't want, whether it's a state of emergency, we don't want any form. You recall that during the elections, our major article for campaign was peace. Bayelsa has become one of the most peaceful states. The governor has just acquired, and between now and the end of the year, we'll be having 24 hours power supply in Bayelsa, where businesses will take advantage of. We don't want anything to go into that narrative. Like the social media will say, we don't want to explain. Okay? So people should take their distractive tendencies. And if I may ask you, what is all this about? Welcome me here, welcome me here. Is that the job description of people in public office? To be welcomed everywhere. Hey, today we welcome Abati. Tomorrow we are welcoming Rufai. Alfred. Sit down in your office, concentrate. This nation has challenges. This nation
very quickly,
has
Alfred, please. Let's
sit down on your desk.
Alfred, we have more questions.
You can provide solution to
Alfred,
the
I have a
issues
rebuttal. Don't worry. So goodbye.
And don't go everywhere. Today they welcome you for
Alfred.
Tomorrow they welcome you.
All right.
What kind of nonsense?
Alfred.
So it's not a government of welcome. Welcome party, welcome party.
Alfred, these welcome parties you're speaking about, these welcome parties, are you at all worried that your PDP structures are vulnerable? Are you worried that maybe your PDP structures in the state are not as solid as you would like them to be, and that they might be vulnerable to being hijacked by any who is willing to come and...
Let me answer your question being by direct. You see, let me tell you something. It is not about the vulnerability of one party or the other. Politics is about numbers. So the question I ask, and like what has precipitated this conversation, so if anybody serving the president or likes the president goes about insulting people everywhere, is that how to woo more votes to the president? So on the day of the election, will you leave your unit and your ward and go to these places that you have been insulting people? So it is not about asking whether the PDP, we are worried. The presidency should be worried that one of its appointees is going about disrespecting people and insulting people. And as Babangida Aliyu will say, you don't insult yourself into power. You don't insult your way into power. So
Alfred, please give me a chance of rebuttal because we need to go. Time is fast spent. Please give me a chance of rebuttal. Couple of things.
Okay. Please, go on.
The part I pick a grouse with, because Alfred, what I should allow you know is that both Derogatory and Wike, they are all the same. This was the same person that Wike claimed knelt down for him at some point.
No, they are not the same.
No,
Derogatory
let me finish.
Is sophisticated. Go back to their childhood.
Please let me finish now.
Go back to their childhood. Check the trajectory of their career.
Alfred,
you see, before you talk to people...
Let me finish my position. Now you are disrupting me.
Go on.
So, and this was the same Wike...
No vex.
This was the same Wike that came to Bayelsa State when he was running for president, and he was well received. So whatever has happened among them is a case of politicians having their teeth. But the part I'm against is this. The minister is not from Bayelsa, and this is not FCT. Words and languages like that are wrong in this country. As regards the Abalama, I was the one that was sharing and speaking about the Abalama incident and the high-handedness of security officials. But that does not stop him, and I will never support denying Minister Wike his right of freedom of association anywhere. Isn't the Bayelsa State government and the Ijaw people that feel slighted, are they not supposed to now show that they are peaceful and hospitable people by ensuring that the rally goes ahead and it goes peacefully and they go their separate ways rather than threatening before the rally? That's my last point. You have less than 30 seconds as we wrap up. Is that not a way to go?
I will just answer you this way, okay? I've said repeatedly on this program that we have no intention to infringe on anybody's right. It's just that governance expects of us to moderate what happens. And I've said that over and over, and I guess you understand. Talking about them being the same people, I remember that incident where Governor Wike had to come to Governor Derogatory in Yenegua, begging him practically and say, please, if you say yes, it is yes for me. I remember that incident. But to reduce that incident to say they are the same people, you are wrong. First of all, in developed climes, that's why before they give you public offices, they profile you to the details of even your family and everything. Go back and check. The sophisticated governor called Governor Derogatory, from being a secondary school teacher up till today, okay? And check others, okay? Their childhood till they go. You see, there are a lot of people who have found themselves in politics for why they talk recklessly with disrespect even to the dead. Governor Derogatory is not in that class and will never be in that class. Even me, I cannot go that low to be in that class. Okay. To disrespect people individually and collectively. Do your public work. In short, as a public servant, if you meet people disrespected, your duty is to show them respect.
Okay, Kemapado.
They will not be in the same class.
On that note,
I will not even go as low as that class.
On that note.
And nobody gets more votes for the president by insulting people. Let that be clear.
On that
Election
note,
no far. When that time reach, we will differentiate between what looks like the lion and the lion.
Okay, thank you very much, Alfred Kemapado, for joining us on The Morning Show.